Cool beans, awesome sauce. Yeah. So yeah, and I'm like actually in the middle of like writing an email to the management because they're idiots. Yeah. So um, I guess like um, what are your guys' thoughts on that in a way? Because um, you're the man. Like I've used Klein forever. You know what I mean? Like I was in continuity of government infrastructure. I grew up with Klein and WIA. Um, and I just think it's amazing, that um, this apartment complex, like let everything lapse so bad. But what I was kind of curious about is what I mean, like the GFCI outlets were chattering, but it blew up my RT205. I think that's the right one. Is that what you want, the digital GFCI tester?
Yes, so it's RT 250.
Yeah,
Because on your video, you're actually using
the analog. Yeah,
so on the ticket itself. So I have two different part numbers. In your video,
yeah,
I see that you're using ET310.
yeah.
But on the description, it's a RT 250. So I'm trying to find out what is actually happening here.
The RT250, when I plugged it into the first outlet, it blew it up.
When you say it blew it up,
Literally, like I hit test and immediate failure. Screen goes to shit. Turn it on. Uh, I get the three dashes, but I plug it in. I don't get any voltage. The red light comes on immediately saying fault without it even being plugged in. Um, yeah, and like when I would even go to a good GFCI outlet, it wouldn't even trip it. Basically, I'm not blaming your tools in any way, shape, or form. Um, what it is really is the apartment complex. Like it blew up. To give you like, I'm autistic. And a head injury, so I'm retired from government shit. But it blew up a durable medical device, my oxygen concentrator. Like my sub panel was fed with an 8 gauge wire, from its main panel, which is fed 75 feet off, and I didn't put my hands in it, but the electrician put his hands in and was like, "Yeah, this thing is, all your lugs are loose, blah blah blah. You're getting your arc. I've got 2 laptops that are fried, literally. Like I'll show you the Google photo album. Um, um, but I'm trying to within it is write something up for these companies that are not realizing preventative maintenance. You go through, you trip. If you hear like I don't know, can you give me one just quick second? I'm gonna turn this concentrator off. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I got to go to the other option. Is it loud? That switch. Okay, you there? Sorry about that. So, um, yeah, I want to, write something up, that says, preventive maintenance, all this, shit. But part of my question to you guys is, what in a GFC, and they would not let me have the outlets, but what in a GFCI outlet um, could cause an RT250 to blow? You know what I mean? Because even if you stick the other, the as you saw in the video, it finally got to the one that smoked, but um, they were all chattering.
to me, after watching your videos, it looks like okay. So if you're testing, if you're trying to trip those GFCIs, okay,
Yeah,
if you're going to go through the manual, it's going to say that the tool will produce from 6 to 9, I believe, milliamps to trip the GFCI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, after watching your videos, it looks like your GFCIs are failing.
Yeah.
They're not tripping.
Yeah.
So typically, what this means is, there are a couple things that you need to pay attention to. First of all, what type of the GFCIs did you guys install?
Yeah, they were yeah. I got you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
Another thing is, when they install those GFCIs, were they properly wired? Another thing is, what is the feed? What is the voltage on those receptacles as well?
Right.
But the main and primary question is, when they place those GFCIs, where did they get them from? Are they UN listed devices? Because as you know, there is so much fake stuff out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and they cheap out. Yeah.
If you're going to install stuff like this that is not UN listed, that's tripping mechanism inside. If you send it and the device is UN listed, it should trip within this range from 6 to 9. If it doesn't trip, it might indicate that perhaps your GFCI is failing and it's not tripping, or perhaps they installed something cheap that is not even certified.
Yeah. Well, just from what I saw from them is they were Levitons, but when the electrician came through and actually the sub panel. So we have a main disconnect 75 feet away from a main panel downstairs that it's all, this is so against code, it's not funny. That it goes to a main panel down, and it's not mine, but it's a complex. But it goes down to a main panel that then feeds through 8-gauge wire about 25 feet on a 60 amp breaker up to my sub panel. And when the electricians came through, he's like, all your lugs are loose and goose.
What is the size of that cable?
8-gauge.
That sub panel.
8-gauge. Okay. Yeah, on a 60 amp you disconnect, which is against code.
Absolutely. The cable is, first of all, it's too small for 60 amps.
Yeah. It was all done so half-assed, it's not funny.
Now you don't really know.
No, but
how
yeah.
The remaining parts of this system are operating. So now imagine, if that sub panel is done correctly, how was the wiring done inside your place? That's another question.
Yeah. Well, another thing I can tell you is all the outlets around my perimeter, the wall, are all tied together, including feeding an exterior GFCI outlet and an air conditioner that's not even on a dedicated circuit. Oh, my thermal camera is telling me outlets that aren't even plugged in, the outside GFCI that was, it was dead anyway, but it wouldn't trip or whatever, and you couldn't get voltage, but it was 10 degrees hotter than the wall. But and that I believe is all running with 14 gauge.
Well, in this case, you definitely need to have a conversation with, if this is some kind of condo.
Yeah, it's an apartment complex. Yeah.
Exactly. You're gonna have to, talk either to the president of the building or the maintenance department. And if you're having issues like this and your stuff is being destroyed, then something needs to happen, because if you already tried certain things, and especially when you plug in RT250 and it blows up, I would question this, because the only way that this might happen is perhaps if you might have a 240 on the receptacle.
Yeah, no, it was 110. Yeah, it is 110. Yeah.
Now, what you would have to do is, I would recommend, before sticking anything inside your receptacles, I would consider buying a multimeter that will actually show me the voltage
Yeah. Oh, I've got a Fluke True RMS. Yeah.
So
Sorry. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
will go
Yeah.
to every outlet
Yeah.
and see,
What they're each getting. Yeah.
absolutely exactly. And then I would go and follow up with, let's say, RT250 to show me what the ET310 to show me what is actually going on. Do you have to open up? Do you have to open?
Yeah.
Do you have to close? And this is how I approach this.
Yeah. And like to me, I'd honestly just tear all the shit out and redo it, and I could do it faster and cheaper. You know what I mean? But yeah, I got to work within their thing, and like, um, yeah, we just had an Excel transformer glitch the other day, and when that glitched, um, I'm assuming in my head, but off of experience, since the um, well, one, undersized 8 gauge wires that were going down to the main panel. But since they were like, when he screwed it in, like it was like literally like 6 turns. It was hilarious. And, he even like, said, it's whatever. But when I got the inductive kick from the other people, because they wired it to where, like it all came back on my shit and couldn't, go back to feeder lines, like I took apart the because they're replacing everything, all the appliances, but I took apart the microwave, the MOVs. You're familiar with MOVs, right? Yeah, the two of them had popped, literally thermal. There's no on the little blue ones. There's no whatever. Yeah, they had cooked like that, black. And I can like I would love to send you guys, whatever, but I want to write something up so that like I can like even if I just drop it off at apartment complexes. Hey, this is something you guys have to look into because AC vibrates. 60 hertz. You have expansion, contraction. This shit's how you know what I mean. But yeah, because like
Absolutely. This is I have never heard about RT250 actually having any type of issues. This is the first time I ever hear anything.
yeah, if you guys want it, you can have it. All I did was take it apart and look at it, to see if I could see what popped, if something popped on it. Other than that, I would love if you guys would do a forensic, and because yeah, dude, I worked, I'm 45. I've been screwing around with audio test and measurement and electronics since I was 8 years old, literally. And I did 20 plus years continuity government infrastructure, mission critical electrical, where we had to have, like to me, like, yeah. And I've never, I've never, I've used these things left and right on, you know, even, 180, circuits that are showing 180. Never had a pop. The only time I've ever had one pop was when somebody actually used an adapter and put it in a 240 and popped it that way. You know what I mean?
Well, this is what we're going to try to do. Um, I do have your email address. What I'm going to do is I'm going to email you a test email.
Yeah.
If you can, please take a picture of a voltage rating on that receptacle.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get your unit back to us for testing. Now, how old is your unit? How old is that your RT250?
Oh, not old at all. The sticker code is 80820UA1. So I'm assuming 2020.
Yes, so it's 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will talk to one of our product managers.
Yeah.
He's not available today, but he's
Yeah.
going to be available tomorrow.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, I'll email you the test email.
Okay.
Send me the picture of that receptacle showing us that voltage.
Yeah.
And then I will call you tomorrow for a follow-up. Okay?
Cool. And I'll send you a link to the Google photo album with all the other like photos that go along with the swearing, so you guys can actually see what it like the overall. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Because it shows you the thermal too. Because this is something you guys want to know too.
I got you. Well, I will definitely work on it. And within a couple of minutes, you're going to receive an email from me. So simple. Just reply back to me with those files.
Cool.
And I will be reaching out to you tomorrow.
Cool beans. Thank you very much. You have fun today. Oh, and what was your name again? I'm sorry. Oh, it will come in the email from. Yeah. Okay. No, we're good. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. You have fun. That's Klein.